Good morning. I want to talk to you about the Light Returns residency that I am doing this month. I'm spending 2.5 weeks on this, and I developed this for myself. So I'm a life coach, and what I ask people is, what do you really want? How do you want to feel? What would that look like? How can you bring that into your day-to-day? And I would be remiss if I didn't do that for myself too. January for me in my work happens to oddly be just a slow time. And so I thought, how can I be intentional about this time? And I had a residency that I had applied for and didn't get back in October. I found out I didn't get a residency. It wasn't for January. It wasn't here in the US. It was for France. Maybe someday I'll get it. But I've been thinking about that and holding it for a very long time. And thinking about, okay, what do I do with this? And I am not one to wait to be chosen. I'm choosing myself right now, and I am launching this residency. And I want to just give you a little bit of information about why I chose the theme of the Light Returns and why I want to spend 2.5 weeks focusing on this and how I think it can be something for the greater good, not just something I do for the heck of doing it. Which that's great in its own right too, but I need it to be a little more meaningful. I need a more powerful why behind the things that I do. So here's what's happening. For 2.5 weeks in January, I will be exploring the theme of the light returns. And this time, January, is typically for me not my favorite time of the year. If it's dark, I want to be sleeping. I don't want to be awake. So I'm extra tired. I am, I don't love the cold. There's a reason I moved from Ohio to North Carolina. I like it to be warm. But there is value in the dark. There is value in the dark times. And for a lot of us, there's so much happening in the world right now. The fires in California, of course, are not great, to say the least. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. It's just horrific what's happening. And then here in North Carolina, our Western North Carolina just experienced something that's just as devastating. And they should really be comparing what happened to Western North Carolina to the California fires. Like the California fires should be saying this is like what happened in Western North Carolina, because it's that same level of devastation and just unfathomable devastation and things that we'll be recovering from for a long time. And then for those that, a lot of us share a certain political feeling. And so January and the inauguration this is going to be a hard time for a lot of us. And whether you're that political affiliation or not, this is just what's happening in my friend circle, okay? This is what's happening, what I'm seeing in the greater world. It can feel dark and heavy and not great. And I think about the light returning, and the light always returns. And I often come back to that Mr. Rogers quote of in like emergency, or I'm paraphrasing here, in tough times, look for the helpers, right? Look for the helpers. There are always helpers. Who's helping? Who's doing work? Who is trying to make things better? Who is trying to shed light during dark times? And I want to grapple with the idea of light and dark. And, I even, driving home from Michigan on Saturday, I have made this drive from Michigan, Ohio to North Carolina more times than anyone should ever have to make. It's a 10-hour drive. I've done it many, 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 many times. And this thing happens when I get to Virginia. And it's an hour from Greensboro at that point. And a lot of times I will hit it right at sunset. It's just kind of magical what happens. And the light that is shining its way onto the mountains and illuminating parts of the mountains, and oftentimes the colors that are coming in. But part of what makes that time so beautiful, part of what makes that view so beautiful, is that there is shadow, right? Light and shadow are two sides of the same coin. We can't have light without darkness or darkness without light. And so this is something I want to explore. And I want this project to be amplification of light. So not toxic positivity. What is that? For those of you that don't know, toxic positivity is ignoring what's not great, putting your head in the sand. Just be positive, just put a smile on, not acknowledging the tough stuff. I want to acknowledge that the shadow, the darkness, it's important. In winter, we have to have wintering to have a harvest come summer and fall. So you have to have that time of dark. And creating this residency is about giving myself 2.5 weeks, not just to arbitrarily put paint on canvas to create a pretty picture. I want to create a pretty picture that says something, that means something. And then those that are patrons are a part of that process with me. So when you support this project at any level, you get to be a part of this project with me. And your money is not just going to fund this particular project. I'm taking 10% of the proceeds to help a fire victim. Picked one specific fire victim in California, my friend Jess Miller. She lost everything, not just her house, her parents' home, the community that she grew up in, her child's school and their grocery store. I mean, everything. And so I'm donating to her, and I'm donating to the North Carolina Artist Disaster Relief Fund. Okay. So, 10% of anyone who becomes a patron of the project, your money really does double the work. It helps fund this very cool project, and there's lots of fun ways to support the project and to get involved at any level, right? So there's lots of different levels that you can support the project at, and you get things for supporting this project, right? So it depends on what level you come in at. There's behind the scenes access for everyone. There's prints, there's originals for at some levels. There's even a level where you could bring me into your business and I could do a workshop on creativity if you bring me in at that level. So there's so many different ways for you to support the Light Returns residency, and your money really does so much good. And so come be a light bearer with me. Come bring the light by supporting this project. It means the world to me. Your money is going to go extra far in the way that it's going to help amplify the light in the world. And if you do become a supporter, you will get access to a private Telegram channel where I will be sharing the insights that I'm learning about this project all along the way, and the revelations that I have as I'm exploring the topics. And this will culminate in hopefully a show. So if I raise enough money, I will do an in-person show. But if not, I will still do an online launch. And 20% of the sales of those paintings are going to go to the two places that I said earlier, to my friend Jess Miller, who lost everything in the Altadena fires, and the North Carolina Artist Relief Fund. So if you've been watching this long, thank you. I hope you will choose to support this project. I'm really grateful for you. I'm grateful that you listened. And, even if you just like and share this video, it means the world. Thank you so much for being a part of my world and for listening to this today. Have a wonderful day.